Excitement here in the North London air, and with good reason. A confrontation that really should get pulses racing, involving Spurs and Manchester United. Hello everyone, I must say it's always a real privilege to commentate from this venue. A warm welcome to North London. I'm Derek Ray, and joining me to provide expert analysis is Stuart Robson. And very much looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League. It is Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United.
Thanks, Derek. Well, often we talk about the tactics, the individual players that are missing, but so often it's the mentality of the players that is key to winning any football game. Which of these teams has the right attitude today is the big question.
Could be. And a goal! That is a very bright start. Perfect way to open.
Well, just look at this again. He's so hard to knock off the ball once he gets going. Of course the defending could be better, but that's a great individual goal. Well, he can't control his delight, can he? It's a wonderful moment for his team.
So on they go again, and that really should shake up United. Can they find a response now? And back with Ferreira. And that, a piece of goalkeeping you're going to see again and again and again. And deciding to go short with this one. Sancho. Well, terrific defending to stop them progressing. Dembele. Really doing a fine job of protecting the ball. Big chance! The keeper was never likely to be in trouble then.
Today, happy birthday, Tony. Everybody loves you and is thinking about you.
Now with Greenwood. He read the situation defensively and did his job. Might be a chance to break. Well, didn't go to plan in the end. Gakpo. Spurs pushing forward with options available. Great vision from Harry Kane. Brilliant save. Sancho. Højlund. And Mount. Textbook closing down, and now they're on the attack. Manchester United required. They are level.
Well, I have to say, this is a really good goal. He skips past his marker, and that gives him the space to get his shot away. Excellent stuff from him.
So in business once more, on the back of that very important equaliser. 1-1. Højlund. Tenacious tackling, excellent defending there. And the counter looks on here, options available. Jadon Sancho. Højlund. They're relying very much on their passing game in a bid to take the lead. Can they jump in front? And a goal! He's doubled his total for the day. It's superb scoring form.
Well, as you can see, he doesn't mess about here, does he? He's strong, well-balanced and skillful. That's a top-class finish.
So the ball is rolling again. 2-1 the scoreline. Spurs finding space on the flank. This could be the equaliser. They just couldn't stay in front. And now this match is all square.
Well, it's a good finish, as you can see. Look at the bend he puts on the ball. The keeper just can't get across to it. That's an excellent goal. Well, they needed that, and so did he. Just look at the manager's relief there.
So underway again, and it's a story of parity. 2 goals apiece in this one. Incapié. Spence. Rasmus Højlund. And the fourth official confirming that we'll have 1 additional minute. Well, nothing comes of the attack when all is said and done. No more time left. That is it for the first half here at the home of Tottenham. You certainly have got to give this man high marks for his work up to this point, Stuart.
Well, what an outstanding first half he had. He dictated the play and was a constant threat with his ability on the ball. Surely he's going to be marked a lot tighter in the second 45 minutes. Otherwise, he completely dominate the game.
When we get out there, I'm going to play. Yeah, easy.
And the second half has started here at the home of Spurs. Really determined play to hang on to it. Beautifully weighted ball. Can they forge ahead? Well, they would have done had it not been for the keeper.
Well, they should be ahead now. Yes, it was a good save, Derek, but he should score from there.
And the short option preferred. And the cross into the middle. Well, it didn't really work the keeper when all was said and done. Now here's a match coming up on EA TV that I think you're going to want to join us for.
That should be a tasty encounter. Plenty of quality in those two sides. Certainly one to enjoy.
Harry Kane. Gakpo. Now the attack fizzled out. And the conditions look pretty good for the counter-attack. Opportunity to go ahead. And you cannot argue with a hat-trick. Simply unstoppable today.
Well, they love him and he loves them. It's great scenes here. Well, here it is again, and it's all about the pace in transition. They're so quick to get out from the back, and once he gets onto it, he just smashes it past the keeper with great technique. What an emphatic finish that is.
A chopping challenge, and the referee has got to have a big think about it. And he does produce the yellow card.
Yeah, and it certainly deserved a yellow. It's a poor challenge, you have to say.
How often do you see this? Tottenham making 3 changes at once on the personnel front. Mukoko. Options in the centre. And beyond the last defender, offside. Spence. And the ball back with Spurs now. The Europa League semi-final second leg, a lot to look forward to, and we'll have live coverage, of course, here on EA TV. It's Manchester United versus Fiorentina.
Well, it's all to play for in the second leg.
Oh, Stuart, they could be in here. And it's a double for him in this game. No way for the opposition to contain him. And no wonder he's off celebrating.
Well, here's the replay, and he shows great awareness to play this through ball. And then through on goal, he just goes for power and smashes it past the keeper. There's no stopping that. What a great finish.
Neither side shy about shooting in this match. Romero now. Spence. It's with Romero. Good use of advantage in United's favour. Jed Spence. Return to Sancho. He'll be breathing a sigh of relief. Ball one. And back to Guglielmo Vicario. Needed to be more accurate than that from the keeper. And a throw in then. Incapié. Sancho now. Well, it's a textbook example of dynamic passing. Oh, fine stop. Manchester United know they've got to be precise with the corner, given the circumstances. Here's a change for Manchester United. Short corner it is. Could be dangerous. Oh, great defending. Scott. Well, it comes down to the final 5 minutes. Spurs a bit sloppy in possession here. It's going to be United's free kick. And United will switch things around personnel-wise. Manchester United on the front foot in the closing moments. Can they find a winner? Chance to cross. High pressing and good high pressing. And he takes on the shot. And that, a piece of goalkeeping you're going to see again and again and again. Can someone get on the end of this? Oh, disappointing clearance. Looking for the right angle. And played in. Højlund. Really well positioned. And with that, the referee brings this contest to an end. All square here in what was a thoroughly compelling game. Stuart, your analysis?
Well, it could have gone either way. I thought both teams were very positive, though, going hammer.
Game will have impressed many people, Stuart.
Well, he was absolutely brilliant today, and he...
Can we ask you a question? Thank you for answering the questions.
thank you all for joining us. We'll start the questions now. Okay, guys, I'm sorry to say we're out of time, so we're going to have to wrap this up.
city imbued with the spirit of excitement and a stadium enveloped by anticipation. This has all the ingredients necessary for a tasty football recipe, and both sets of players are ready to throw everything into winning the game for their fans. A mouth-watering prospect awaits. Will it happen live on EA TV? Well, nights like these are just what you hope for as a spectator. A warm welcome. My name is Derek Ray, and sitting alongside me in the commentary position is the former Arsenal and West Ham midfield player Stuart Robson. And what we have to look forward to is the second leg of this Champions League semi-final. How's it going to go, Stuart?
Well, Derek, the first game was full of quality, so let's hope this one is just as good. Spurs hold that slight advantage, but if they don't play at their best today, they could come unstuck here.
Takafusa Kubo. Can he put it away? The save was a good one. It's a short one. Loves to cut in from the wide areas. Well, it might still work out for them. And in the end, no damage done. Well, he really is danger personified, but in this game, Stuart, what do you think we might see from him?
Well, he's a fantastic striker of the ball, and he can generate so much pace, and when he strikes it cleanly, the ball starts to dip and swerve on its way to the goalkeeper, which is why he needs to be closed down quickly today.
And the starting 11 for Spurs.
Well, it's a defensive-looking lineup, but if the wing-backs break forward, the midfield can get close to the front pair, and the front two can link up with each other, they should still cause problems today.
Well, the attack looks promising. The fans are shouting, shoot! Chance here, and there it is, the opening goal, 1-0, and they'll feel they deserve it.
Well, here you can see it again. Good run, great strength, and a composed finish under pressure. That's a top-class goal.
Back underway, 1-0 it is. Kirk. Kubo. Yashari. Takafusa Kubo. Yusufa Mukoko. He must finish! Really committed defending. Keeping possession of the ball with authority. Mount. Ardon Yashari. And still looking to get the shot off. Mount. Is this the moment? In it goes! A huge goal in this tie! As it stands, they will be the ones going through!
Well, let's look at this again. The 1- and 2-touch passing is absolutely outstanding to play around the pressure, and it makes the striker's job so easy. All he has to do is make the right connection. It's a lovely goal.
So back underway following the equaliser. Using his physical strength to shield it. Well, very effective play in possession. Now he must favour the cross. Bentancur. Well, all doing their bit to keep them out. Kubo. Nice looking move this. Textbook defending inside the box. And this might not be the ideal situation for them. Mount. Oh, a brilliantly timed tackle when it really mattered. Incisive pass. And it's in as they tighten their grip on the tie.
Well, here's the replay. He's done well to get his head up, pick out a teammate, and he makes the finish look so easy. What a good goal that is. Well, no wonder he's delighted. They're bossing the game now.
So the ball is rolling again. 2-1 the score. What's going to happen next? Well, the referee wasn't going to let that go. And that was a free kick. It's with genuine authority.
Well, you have to say that's a really good strike. Had that been on target, the keeper might have had a problem.
Dembele. Given away by Tottenham. Wahi. Alexis McAllister. It's with Celik. El Wahi. And a goal kick is the outcome. And just 1 minute of time added on for stoppages. Kubo. Mount. Yusufa Moukoko. And with that, the first half draws to a close. Underway once more, and it's going to be fascinating to see what developments occur in this second half. Good tackle. Kubo. Well, they need to get tighter here. Great opportunity. A goal here. Giving his team precisely what they were looking for. Now he deserves to celebrate it.
Well, let's take another look. It's a really well-timed pass to break the offside line, and he makes no mistake with the finish. He showed a lot of composure there.
Well, there it is. 3-1 the current scoreline here. He's in control of the situation. Well, that's the end of that move for now. Kubo. Can he take the chance? A no-nonsense defensive clearance. Well, this is the home of live football, EA TV, and we have more action coming up from the Premier League for you. It's Tottenham Hotspur facing Brentford. Mehmet Zeki Çelik. Çelik. And with that, the attack fizzles out. Dembele. Oh, that's a super piece of defending. And so 30 minutes left for play in this one. Ugarte. Well, no stopping him. Oh, this looks useful. It's got to be! And a goal here! There it is! They've done it!
Well, here it is again. He goes past his marker so easily with just a drop of the shoulder, and then the shot is emphatic. He strikes it with such power. The keeper... has no time to react. What a good finish.
Well, back underway, and a glut of goals here. 3-2. Correa. That's not a bad ball. And the keeper's technical skills there for all to see.
Well, from that close in, that's a really good save. Such good reflexes.
And deciding to go short with this one. Ardon Yashari. Promising possession, this. Mount. Chance to finish. And there is the goal. He's found the net. Joy unconfined.
Let's see this again. Look at the bend he gets on this. That struck so cleanly. What a good finish. Well, he looks really pleased, doesn't he? His side have been really good today.
So the current scoreline, 4-2. Nikola Milenkovic. This attack looks highly promising. Determined defending. this. Dangerous looking attack. And able to close down the shot. A quarter of an hour remaining here. Correa. Mukoko. Gakpo. On to Mount. Can't miss, surely. And a goal! He's put it away. A celebratory moment.
Well, as you can see, this is a wonderful strike. He makes the perfect connection, and he has so much pace on it. It's a great goal.
Rete degli Spurs con il numero 10 Cody Gakpo.
Bentancur. Well, very effective play in possession. Gakpo. Well, that's how to keep the opposition at bay. His determination there for all to see. And possession given away. Bentancur. Magnificent challenge to win it back. So 2 minutes of stoppage time here. Correa. And they need to get tighter. Kane. Oh yes! It's gone in! And now a chance for them to revel in the moment.
Well, that's a clinical finish. He just put his head down and smashed it past the keeper. There was no stopping that, was there? Well, no wonder he's delighted. They're bossing the game now.
Ha segnato il Tottenham.
And the semi-final second leg comes to an end. What a night for Tottenham Hotspur, who have made it through to the Champions League final.
Well, what a good win that was over the two games. Their attacking play has been brilliant. If they can repeat that in the final, they have every chance of lifting the trophy.
Well, this man has given us plenty of reasons to dwell on his performance, hasn't he, Stuart?
Well, what more could you ask for? His build-up play was clever, his movement was dynamic, and he scored a couple of goals. What a player he is.
That's front page.
No further questions. Thanks so much.